This video series is not meant to be instructional. It is, however, an invitation to view my journey as I strive to build a log cabin on a budget. Working with sharp tools, felling trees, building log cabins, etc. is inherently dangerous work, which is why they should not be attempted without the proper training, safety precautions, and full knowledge of the associated risks. Enjoy. Sincerely, The Outsider. It is mid-September, and there is no time to lose. With the foundation boulders in place, my goal was to have the sill logs and floor joists installed before the snow came. To be honest, I wasn't sure if we were going to make it on time. The first task on our list was to drill into the boulders so that we could install the anchor bolts. We traded some cedar posts we had been collecting for a generator, which was something that we needed for this stage of the build. Two spent drill bits and one busted hammer drill later, we finished boring into all 9 foundation boulders. In total, we drilled through over 8 feet of rock with an under-equipped drill. Next came the 3/4 inch anchor bolts. I made sure that they were of good quality steel so that they would be able to withstand the moisture content of the rock. That's good, I think. I purchased some beeswax from a local beekeeper and melted it down.
Okay, good.
I used the beeswax to coat the bottom ends of the anchor bolts, hopefully sealing them from any water that might collect at the bottom of the boreholes over time.
Ooh. Whoa.
After installing the anchor bolts, I sealed the tops of them as well.
Starting to tighten up pretty good.
I'm not sure how much water the beeswax will keep out, but I thought I'd give it a try anyway. Since some of the boulders were uneven at the top, I needed to cement them level, so that the sill logs would rest squarely on them. The time had come to purchase a portable sawmill. Before I cut a single tree for this project, I had already began saving for a sawmill, knowing that I would eventually need one. After 3 years of scraping my pennies together, and after selling my old dirt bike and snowmobile, I was finally able to purchase a sawmill for myself. It is the biggest expenditure on my budget, but it is something that will save me money in the long run. Instead of having to shell out thousands of dollars at the hardware store to purchase lumber for the flooring, roofing, and interior work, I can now produce my own. When the cabin is complete, I can continue using the sawmill to produce lumber which I can sell, in which case the sawmill has the potential to turn a profit rather than a deficit. The first thing I used the sawmill for was to make some cedar shims.
Not much now.
To keep the shims from sitting directly on the stone, I placed a shingle down first. Now the foundation was ready for the sill logs. I selected the 3 largest cedars from the seasoning pile, which will be used as the sill logs. I also chose 7 smaller cedars to process into floor joists.
Okay. Okay.
That should be pretty good, eh?
Yep.
We cut 3 notches into each sill log so that they would rest securely on the shims.
Oh boy, this is off about 2 inches. You okay now, or is there any need me to hold it?
I'm good now, I think.
In under the saw somehow, and then
According to my rough calculations, each seasoned sill weighed at least 400 pounds.
Maybe put it through.
I figured the easiest way to muscle each sill into place was to string up an overhead rope and use a block and tackle to ease the load.
here, I got a bit more weight than you do.
Just try to slam me on the head if it comes loose. You got it?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll send over.
How's that feel?
Feels easy.
However, the rope sagged too much to be of any real benefit, not to mention that the log was likely pushing the rope past its safe working limits.
Get it here, so it doesn't move. Okay, I'm here. Ready? Yep. That's okay, is it gonna slip off there?
No, not yet, anyway. Just watch, it could roll. Okay, not high enough to get on this. You need any help with that one?
Might be okay here. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, mine's on.
Okay, this is.
Okay, can
I'll
you
let
hold
you.
it?
Yeah, I'll let you go look at that other one.
Okay, lower down.
Look at that. Oh, excuse me. Yep. Ready? Yep. Oh, good. Okay.
With this setup, we could lift the logs onto the boulders, but we couldn't hoist the sill high enough to fit over the anchor bolts.
Could we get
There was obviously a much safer and easier way to lift the sill logs. It was back to the drawing board. I used some cedar poles to construct a couple 15-foot tall A-frames, complete with a set of rungs. Winter was already beginning to announce itself. We were far from ready, but the snow was on its way just the same. It was then that I realized that although we would be able to mount the sills in time, we probably wouldn't be able to complete the floor joists before everything was buried. The heavy snow was only a week or two away. Since we could only work on the cabin 3 Saturdays out of every month on average, we just didn't have enough time. The best we could do was work until the snow prevented us from working any further. We joined the A-frames together to make a light yet sturdy structure from which the pulleys could be hung and the sill log comfortably hoisted.
There we go. Okay. You on? It's on, yeah. Okay. Oh, did it slide it down on that end?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. We'll have to pry this up to get the rope off, but that worked.
That's great. Okay, I'll see if I can. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, let me get higher. Yeah.
Tell me when.
I'm gonna run it. Right, hold it quickly.
Okay.
That worked. Pretty good.
Okay, good. Okay, let it down slowly and there, it's resting.
Okay, ready?
Yep. Okay. How's it looking?
Can't tell.
I can't tell.
Okay.
Sink it back down.
Yeah, no, it's looking.
It's on. Okay.
The A-frames, or as I called them, the swing set, worked beautifully. To make lifting the sills even easier, I could have added another pulley or two, but the setup worked well enough. The 3 sill logs sitting on top of the foundation boulders didn't look like much, but they represented 2.5 years of blood, sweat, and dirt. No, they didn't look like much, but I was proud of the hard work that put them there. It was back to the sawmill where I cut the top side of each floor joist flat. Then came the first snow that stayed on the ground. It stayed for a few days before melting away, but the next snowfall was right around the corner, and it was coming to stay. During the autumn, my dad and I made the tough decision to devote part of our time to building a tool shed. We used the sawmill to produce the lumber we needed. I hated to divert our time away from the cabin build to construct a shed, but we needed a place to store our tools. Otherwise, we'd have to pack them up early and take them out of the bush before the snow arrived. Since our intention was to work through the winter, we needed to shelter our tools at the build site. The tool shed was our solution. We completed the shed to the extent that it was good enough to keep our tools protected for the winter. However, we plan on siding and properly roofing the shed next summer. We would also like to add a couple windows and maybe a bunk to make it into a proper bunkhouse, but that's another project for another season. Since it was too cold to use a water level, we used a chalk line and a 4-foot level to painstakingly mark a level line on the 2 outside sills. We would use these lines to help set the depth of our joist notches.
Perfect.
Since the ends of each joist was cut to a uniform thickness of 5 inches, all we had to do was sink each joist down to the chalk line to make everything level.
It almost sits right on top.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so it's the 2 inside ones.
Almost looks like pro dirt.
Almost.
On the end a little bit for length. Oh, that's perfect. That's solid.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Nothing. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, level?
Yeah.
Woo!
After laying the first 3 joists, we called it a day. Shortly afterward, the first real snowfall came. It seemed winter had us beat. Everything was buried under 2 feet of snow, and more was on the way. Although the cabin base sat incomplete, we had no choice but to call it quits for the season. Just kidding. We're Canadian. Snow isn't an obstacle, it's a pastime. We were more determined than ever to finish the cabin base, so we strapped on a pair of snowshoes and hiked back in.
Okay, should have brought my other shovel too. Yeah, we got the spade in there, right? Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, just slide it back. Yeah, that's pretty good. Right there.
There, that's exactly on the center line of this log.
Okay. No. Must be a knot underneath or something that's causing it.
Yeah.
Okay, my way. Oh, there. Yep. That one's good. Yeah, that's.
Okay. Perfect.
7 of the 10 floor joists were now in place. For the last set of joists, we needed to process 3 more logs using the sawmill. Even though we already had our fill of shoveling for the day, we were back at it again to liberate the seasoning pile and sawmill from the snow.
There we go. I got it. Okay. Wow. We're getting faster. More what we know, more what we want. Yeah. Right, I'll try and swing it.
Still has a bit of play, doesn't it?
It does have a little, so.
So we'll have to take a bit more off from here. To my great relief, the 10 joists, spaced 2 feet apart, were all level to each other. I will likely need to thinly shim a couple joists in the odd spot, but I don't think we could have done a better job. The hard work of laying the foundation and establishing the base is done. However, we aren't the type to rest on our laurels. The walls are next. Well, it was a lot of work, but we made it. I was honestly doubting whether or not we were going to be able to get to this point. Everything seemed to be delaying us, and with the decision to build the tool shed, I just didn't know if we would be able to get the joists on in time. And technically we didn't. The snow beat us, but by that point we were so determined to get it done that we're like, okay, you know what? We're going to take shovels out here, we're going to dig out the sill logs and the joists, and we're going to get it done. And I'm so thankful that we did that, because otherwise it would just be eating me alive waiting for the winter to finish so that I could get those final joists on. And I just wouldn't feel that the episode would be complete without getting everything done that I wanted to get done. And so it took a little extra work, but I'm very happy with where we are right now. I'm very excited for the next phase. It has been 2.5 years of cutting trees, dragging them here, piling up our materials, getting the rocks, getting the boulders, and we haven't really had much to show for it. So this is something that we're really proud of, because now we have something to show for our work. As I said in the episode, it doesn't look like much, but to me the foundation, the sill logs and the floor joists was going to be the hardest stage of the build, because you just can't get it wrong. The measurements have to be good, everything has to be level, and then it's easier after that. But if your foundation's screwed up, then everything gets screwed up. But now we can breathe a sigh of relief because it is done. As you can see all around me, we are completely buried in snow this year. We had a big thaw not too long ago, but the snow came right back again. And you can see how quickly everything here is being covered up. The seasoning piles are buried completely, and we were able to get a few logs out to finish the joists, but it's just completely buried again. And I don't think it's efficient to keep building the walls at this time, because we would just have to be digging out every day. And it takes us enough time just to get out here in the first place. So what we're going to do is leave the cabin site, give it a bit of a break for now, and we're going to go out deeper into the bush, and we're going to start dropping some poplars. This is a great time of year to do that, in the dead of winter, and these poplars are going to be used for flooring and roofing. So there are things we need to do off the build site, and so we're going to get that done within the next month or two, and then we can return and start working on the walls. But again, I'm so excited as to where we are. And actually, in old traditional log cabin building, people, once the sill logs, the joists were on, that was all in place, they would have a big party, because that was the hardest part of the build. And so it's like this plateau, this achievement, this sigh of relief when you get to that point. We don't have time for a party on our build, but we are so happy that we are here. Having the sawmill on site has made all the difference in the world. We could do a lot of the work that we've done here, or all of the work that we've done here, without the sawmill, but I love the precision that the sawmill gives. Like, it gives a perfectly straight edge along the floor joists. We could have hewed them with the chainsaws and the axes, but just having the sawmill here has made things way more streamlined, so I've really appreciated that. I know that there are people that are already commenting and saying, well, what happened to your budget? This is called log cabin on a budget, and you've gone out and you've bought a sawmill. And I do agree, it is quite an expenditure on the budget. It's actually the biggest expenditure on my budget. But as I've explained in the episode, I don't look at this as a deficit to the budget, because this is something that is able to produce money on its own. So this is, to me, a business investment. This is investing in profit in the future. So if I can at the very least pay for the sawmill with the lumber that I process through it, then it was worth it to get it. The thing is, you either spend the money on the lumber at the hardware store, and the lumber, all of your money just goes into the lumber on your one specific build, or you can get a sawmill, produce the lumber you need for your job, but then you still have the sawmill at the end of it all, and you can keep producing, and the sky's the limit as far as the thing runs for what you can make back. And if you do it wisely, you can begin to actually use it as a source of income. In the beginning, my plan was to just go out into the bush by myself and just build a log cabin on my own. I was so determined to have this project happen that I was fine with going into the bush with just a chainsaw and just an axe and seeing how much I could do on my own. But I am so grateful that my dad and Jag has been able to join me. They have brought so much to the project, and I have come to rely on them. I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for them. And so this is their project as much as it is mine. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for your support. I just appreciate the outsider community so much as well. You guys with your comments and your suggestions and just following along so faithfully has been so special to me. And the outsider community is so great in the way that you guys have been rolling up your sleeves, so to speak, and saying, you know, oh, I wish I was closer so I could help you out. If I was closer, I would be there. I would be helping you. And I've had other offers, people saying, you know, I don't know how to build, I'm not very active, but I would love to come and help you film, I would love to help you edit. It's just that speaks to the character of the outsider community. And I value that so much as well. That you guys not only want to just observe, but there's this thing inside of you that just makes you want to participate as well. Well, I'm going to gather my stuff up now, and we're going to hit the trail because we have some more daylight left, and we're going to drop some poplars. But that's it for now. Thank you guys again for watching, for your support, and I'll see you in the next one.